right, then good evening and welcome to you. At the bottom of this hour, we talk to Gugu Ngube. You remember last year, a lady went to protest half naked at the union buildings, deciding to do something, to talk to the president himself directly about her victimization over a sexual harassment case and also just issues of gender-based violence that have once again become topical in our body politic. Of course, you can send us your WhatsApps if you want to talk to her and talk to us during that slot at 9:30. So we can call you back for that conversation at the bottom of this hour, talking all matters gender-based violence. We should not tire. I was saying to the team, you know, excuse me, we had the entire August. I don't know how many rants we did, right, talking about gender-based violence, condemning it all and so on. And there is a temptation to tire about it. And that's a typical South African thing, isn't it? I mean, only yesterday did the Women's League say, you know, come up with a song and dance saying that we must declare a state of emergency. When did it become emergent? Can't tell me it became emergency because of the recent deaths. We've had Karabo Mokwena's multiplied tenfold. Month in, month out, we continue to have this scourge not really decreasing. Yet, in a typical South African fashion, we talk only when there is an incident. Then Ralebal. Next week, they've moved on talking about Spring Day and other things. It's bad how we have become a talk shop nation. It's actually very bad. It's terrible. We can talk. I mean, you should hear the Minister of Police. You know, if you listen to the Minister of Police, hey, the guy can talk. But he's also an action man, but hey, he can talk. But when he talks, you may think there's actually no crime left in South Africa. In fact, right now, he's very mild. He used to shout terribly when he was a police commissioner. Hey, and if he adds shoot to kill there, and you know, but we are a talk shop nation. We talk too much, but very little action is going on. And this thing is not impossible. The issue of action is not impossible. I said a dialogue this afternoon between President Kgalema Motlanthe and the former president of Chile, President Lagos. And he was telling us about what happened in Chile during his tenure. I think he was in office for about 6 years. And in that time, he was able to reduce unemployment rate from 43% to 10%. Now, talk about action and concrete stuff that's happening, right? Where a number of students in the 6 years rose from 200 to over 1.1 million students who then were given access to education. Action. You're talking something concrete, not another slogan, not another recitation. I want to go to school, recitation. I want freedom charter get recitation. I want to ANC and go transing or freedom charter. They can recite it left, right, and center. But when you examine whether the doors of learning have indeed opened, whether the people have indeed shared in the country's wealth, whether the minerals indeed belong to the people, zero. You score a no to it. Because we're good at talking policies. Even now with this 77-page document, all talk now. It's repackaged, but you know, I only appreciate the fact that somebody had to do something. But even that deed is still talking. Arno, let's have a dialogue about economic growth. We can't talk the economy into growth. Not possible. We've got to do certain things. There must be certain concrete actions that must be done. And I want to ask you tonight to tell us what do you think should be done? What actions must be taken to reduce the level of violence that is in our society, to reduce the level of violence that is against our women folk and so on. Right? We should not tire. I know that the talking can get exhausting. Right? We should not tire, but we must understand that talking alone is not going to solve the problems of this country. It's not going to make violence go away. It's not going to stop our women feeling unsafe. And part of that action starts with me and you. Michael Jackson, our men in the mirror. We o itebelele because re lapile ka batho ba bolelang ko di-rallying thate tsa re viva ko di-rallying mara ko haya o shapa mosadi ko rallying ke ene wa itse a ka recite communist manifesto from chapter 1 to the last chapter ka recite mara a fitla kwa o shapa mosadi. So the action must start with you and me doing introspection, saying, what am I doing in my own space to make sure that there's no space for violence? In our circle of friends, until my dying day. In your circle of friends, you must make it unfashionable for a man to come and say, hey, I don't want tella, motlapa. That person must feel ashamed. You must make them feel ashamed of themselves. How about so in your presence? I'm a conspiracy silence number one in South Africa. Hey, rata conspiracy silence. If you can just be a fly in the hole, if you are a woman or a wife or a girl, be a fly in the hole where your boyfriend is with his friends. You will say, it's not, it can't be him. You will tell, shameful stuff. And we need to call it out. Whenever the president talks there, no, men must speak amongst themselves. Hasta the cabinet. Abisa kokasi cabinet ministers who are men. Abisa kokasi cabinet separate. Yabanna fela babulela amongst themselves. Kutomaga. When some of them are beating up wives, baleko cabinet, MECs, we know you. Because we live amongst you. You don't live in Jupiter. You don't live in Mars. You live in South Africa, we know you. We see you. MECs. MEC, but rude. Rude. We put hey, Mosadia I'm sure Utara Matata mo. And Utatanki MEC, you get executive, the bodyguard, black limousines and blue lights. Looking decent. You'll be shocked. If you fly in the wall of some of these leaders when they are alone, you will be shocked out of your boots. Therefore, the action must start at the top, because that's where the fish rots. It rots from the head. It doesn't rot from the tail. It rots from the head. So we need leadership across the board. From you looking into that mirror and saying, what am I going to do to discourage somebody who calls himself my friend from spewing xenophobic nonsense, from spewing sexist nonsense, because that's where the violence is brewed. It's not brewed in a lecture room somewhere. Brewed in the mind. It's brewed in those circles of friends where we make it comfortable for women bashers to sit there and think it's all right. I'm going to beat up the next woman who on tella, como sharp, como mai. You must stop it. And you must stop it from yourself. You must start with yourself. You are not going to start by in a rally or in Viva Viva, where all men must stand up and pledge. No. In fact, the best way is not a rally. The best way is your friend. One of you can just convert your friend to stop beating up their girl, their girlfriend, their wife. Because often they are encouraged by their friends, because their friends are not going to tell them, no, this is rotten, this is bad. One of our crew here was saying to me, listen, if you are going to talk about xenophobia, just remind South Africans that nobody has walked from Nigeria to South Africa. Nobody walked. They flew into OR Tambo. Somebody at Home Affairs colluded with them to be here. They went through the border gate. Somebody at the border gate, only border gate, notorious, based bridge. Bribery, manual bribery. How about cousin is a one of complaining about America, but their cousins got them into the country illegally. How about a full market? What a full market? You have the ID, the passport. Get business, a full-on business. It's actually kind to call it black market. I say black market, and it's open market. You can get a passport or anything, or you Tabane, or you whoever. O ka change leina la gago tomorrow, man. You could get married tomorrow. Ko mara wa start ka 10 o'clock ka kwa una motho ka ho nyadisa wa nyala South African wa adopta se name ya South African e. Batho ba ba rekisang those passports ke South Africans. Ba ba no ba imakato re ma forina mantsi wa itse. He wa kore kora mantsi ba bantsi how can ba be mantsi so? Insulting the same people who they took money from. Ba bribe. It's very funny. What you know, the lack of introspection must be the root of all the evil we face. And rizu complain, mara hoka mutho teng fela o mo examine or ene we etsang, you will be shocked out of your boots. South Africa, we got to wake up. And it starts with the man and the woman in the mirror. Iputise wena. What are you going to do to make sure that our women feel safer? What are you going to do to make sure that our visitors, because these are our visitors, our tourists, our brothers and sisters, refugees who have run away from countries that are on fire, countries where there are dictators, who are encouraged by some of our leaders. They don't say, please stop oppressing your people. They don't call their own peers to order in these meetings. When there are people run away to better places, by Magas or hey, but tomorrow now they have run away and so on. Now I understand that shops are being closed in other parts of the continent, ambassadors are up in arms. But the root of it is this whole issue of conspiracy. It starts at the very top. Conspiracy of silence amongst African leaders who don't call each other to order for the deteriorating state of their citizenries. And now it trickles down and it results in huge, some often unnecessary migration, where people are running away from their erstwhile liberators. Some of them don't deserve to be called liberators anymore. At the bottom of this hour, Gugu Ngube is my guest. We carry on with the conversations about gender-based violence. What are you going to do, South Africa? Let's take a break now.